Hello everyone. So today we are going to discuss inflation. Inflation is a situation when there will be some price rise. So we are going to observe that there is rise in the price of a commodity, let's say, or a basket of commodities. So this lead to decrease in the purchasing power of a currency. Power of a currency. So due to inflation, a situation arises and that is decrease in the purchasing power of currency. There are various methods by which we can check that how much inflation is present in the economy. So one of them is GDP deflator. By this GDP deflator method, we are going to compare the nominal GDP with the real GDP. As we have already discussed, in nominal GDP, we considered the price change also. But in case of real GDP, the quantity changed is taken into consideration only. Here, price and the quantity, both of them are taken into consideration. So, in case of nominal GDP, we have impact of price change and quantity change both. For calculating GDP deflator, what we are going to do is nominal GDP upon the real GDP. Here, the nominal GDP is deflated to get the real GDP. Nominal GDP is deflated, it means the inflation would be removed from this and we can get the real GDP. Let's just take an example for this. Let's say we bought some wheat and that is wheat, 10 kg wheat by the rate of rupees 10 in 2021 and it is of rupees 100. Let's say again we bought 11 kg at the rate 10.5 as the price change is also observed in case of nominal GDP in year 2022. So we can check the nominal GDP now in 2022. So nominal GDP would be 11 kg into 10.5. Yeah, but what would be the real GDP? 11 into rupees 10 only. It would have constant this value. The price would remain constant. So this quantity can be cut and 10.5 upon 10 is the GDP deflator. So this GDP deflator can give us the amount of inflation present in the economy. And the best part of GDP deflator, it takes into account all the commodities in the economy. We have taken the complete GDP. Here we have taken into consideration a particular example of wheat, but while calculating the GDP deflator in actual, we consider the complete nominal GDP and complete real GDP, not any particular basket of goods. So it gives the actual figure whatever going in the economy. Next we have wholesale price index. This is mainly used by the wholesalers. This index is also published monthly for checking the inflation in the economy and it is published by the Ministry of Commerce, DPIIT. This is published to know about the economy and inflation in various sectors like in the agriculture sector, in the mining sector or electricity or manufacturing. A very major role is of manufacturing. Yeah, so these sectors are evaluated and inflation is checked only in these particular sectors. So the basket of commodities here in case of wholesale price index is some particular decided sectors. This index is not calculated for all the commodities of the economy. Taken into consideration this much part which is important for the wholesale. This index is calculated and by which inflation can be known. Next is consumer price index. This is also published to know that what is the status of the economy as per the consumers. This is published by the National Statistical Office monthly. Consumer price index is calculated for various sections of the society or the workers. Let's say it is calculated for the industrial workers, it is calculated for the agricultural workers, or we can call it laborers, and also for the rural laborers. So there are various types of consumer price index which is being calculated. It is presented by the Labor Bureau. And the other part is the CPI for the rural, CPI for the urban, and CPI combined of rural plus urban. It is presented by NSO. And the complete data is also presented by NSO monthly. This is how inflation in the economy is calculated. And one more thing, that this inflation is calculated by the average weight. It is calculated by the weighted average method, so that the percentile, how much important, we have to consider in that way. Let us say we are taking a scenario in which we have, let's say, salt, we have some book, we have yeah, let's say these two things only. So we have given some weight to the salt. Let's say salt is needed 10% only, and the demand of book is around 50%. So this way we need to consider that what is the weight needed for some commodity. So if you are going to calculate the weighted average, let's say 1 kg of salt is needed and one book is needed. But if you're going to calculate the weighted average, that you are going to see that it is 10%. So 10% of one plus 50% of one. So the impact would be more of book and very less of the salt. So this is how it is calculated in WPI and CPI, that some sectors, let's say manufacturing has more role. Let's say it is 50%, and mining has, let's say, just 10%. So all these type of indexes are calculated based on weighted average method. The weight of each of the commodity is not same. It is based on the need of any commodity actually. So for example, we have wheat, we have rice, we have salt, and as per the need, let's say wheat is 50%, rice is 40%, and the salt is just 10%. So for calculating the inflation in this case, what we are going to do is, let's say weighted average for wheat is 50%, multiply by let's say 2 kg is needed. Then rice 40%, 2 kg is needed, and that is salt 10%, and let's say half kg is needed, and divided by 0.5, 0.4 plus 0.1. This is how the inflation is calculated. Weight of each of the commodity would not remain the same. Weight would be different depending upon the need of it. I hope you understand the topic well. You have understood the differences between WPI, CPI and their importance and how to calculate them. Thank you for watching.